Hi, Ira. How are you?
Hi, Rebecca. I'm great. How are you today?
Good, good. I'll just introduce myself, and just so for everybody knows, I'm Rebecca Ayala with Rebecca Salsa Shore at Keller Williams Realty. How are you? And do you want to introduce yourself and see
Sure.
if everybody knows who you are?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ira Bodenstein. I'm a loan consultant at Loan Depot. I provide residential loan financing for purchases or refinancing or whatever you're looking to do in your home.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm able to, even though I'm only in South Jersey, if somebody needs assistance in real estate, I can help them find a realtor anywhere. And I know that you're in several states, correct?
Yes, Loan Depot's licensed in all 50 states. Personally, I'm licensed in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and Florida. And I have colleagues on my team that I can work with. If you're seeking a loan in another state, just let me know, and I'm happy to connect you if it's not one of the states I'm licensed in.
Great, great. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so I got some questions for you, and hopefully it'll help the buyers understand the process of this of like the 203K loans and loans like that.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. So the first question is, why should a borrower consider a renovation loan?
That's a great question. So renovation loans, I used to say it's one of the best kept secret, but it is becoming to the forefront. There are properties out there that when you look at it as a home buyer, you come out and the realtor asks you, hey, how did you like that? And the answer is, I liked it, but. So the but is maybe it's too small, maybe it's run down, maybe it needs a lot of work, but any and all of that can be accomplished with a renovation loan. You can literally add an addition to the house if you need more space and you have the room on the lot that the house sits on. But a house that's old, and or you can build up, you can put another level on the house. If it's a ranch, you can add another level. Cape Cod, you can finish off that upstairs, or if it's the ones I like to consider are the split level houses, where when you walk in the house, you're in the living room, then you have the dining room and the kitchen all there, and you go up a short flight of stairs, and there's your bedrooms. But picture this, if you put an addition over the living room, dining room, kitchen, you can in effect put a whole master bedroom suite, because that's a lot of room up there, or you can put a couple extra bedrooms up there, whatever you want to do. You can do this with a renovation loan. Um, and if the house is old, tired, or the kitchen is not up to date, you want a new modernized kitchen, that's something that can be done. So my opinion is that many of these houses that need work, the sellers know they need work. The sellers know they're not pristine. So they usually sell for a little bit less than the house that's updated, modernized. Maybe they were bought by a flipper who did all the renovations already, and then they're selling it as a pristine house. So don't let them have all the fun. You can select your cabinets and your countertops and your bathroom vanities and whatever you want to do, because maybe your taste doesn't agree with the flipper's taste. So you have the fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun, actually. And it's neat to be able to pick your own. I think that's what brand new builds are so popular for, because you can
Right.
pick your counters and cabinets and floors, and people like to have choices like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are the different kinds of renovation loans?
So there's three different kinds of renovation loans. The most popular is what's known through the world as an FHA 203K. It's just a different kind of FHA loan. And the advantage of an FHA 203K, Rebecca, is you can literally do anything you want. If the house needs a septic tank, if it needs a well, if it has an abandoned oil tank, if it has an oil tank, you want to remove it and convert it to gas. All this can be done with an FHA 203K. And the advantage of that loan is, Rebecca, we can lend up to 96.5% of the finished value. So because with a renovation loan, your equity is based on the as completed value. These are single closing loans, so your initial funding goes for you to purchase it. and then your contractor comes in, does all the work. Prior to closing, you're going to present a bid from a contractor, a licensed contractor, for materials and labor, and that's what we'll use to determine the future value of the home. Second most popular type is Fannie Mae home style. Fannie Mae home style, you can borrow up to 97% of the as completed value. You can also use this type of renovation loan if you're going to buy and upgrade a second home, or if you're going to buy this as an investor to rent out the property. So that's the advantage to that program. And the third loan is through VA. So if you're a veteran, you already know that you can purchase a home with 100% financing. You don't have to put anything down. So what if you find this home and you want to do a renovation project? Maybe you need a property that's handicap accessible. If you're a disabled veteran, that can be done with any renovation loan, but with the VA renovation loan, you can finance 100% of the as completed value. So that's the sweet spot for a VA. And again, same thing. You can build up, you can build out, you can upgrade, you can modernize. There's a lot you can do with these loans.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
You're teaching me new stuff every day.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah. So this is going to be great. So what is the advantage of the FHA 203K loan? Like, what's an advantage of that?
Yeah, the advantage is you can borrow a larger percentage. You can do 1 to 4 family properties with an FHA 203K. So if you're going to buy a 2-family home and the kitchens are old and tired, or the bathrooms, or you just want to upgrade it, maybe it needs a new HVAC, whatever you need. That's the major advantage with the FHA 203K is the 96.5%.
Okay. And what would be the advantage of the Fannie Mae homestyle renovation loan?
If Fannie Mae, like I said earlier, you can do vacation homes, or you can do it as an investor. And the
Yeah, that's
percentages
great.
vary depending on what you're looking to do.
Okay. And obviously the advantage of the VA renovation loan, like you said, was like 100% financing. Are there any other advantages?
Not really. I mean, that's a huge takeaway. If you're a veteran and you've served in the armed forces, take advantage of your VA benefits. And this is a huge VA benefit that you can finance 100% of your purchase price.
Yeah, that is great. And how are funds allocated after closing?
So after closing, picture this, the first funding goes for you to purchase the house. Your equity and your down payment on that final value is taken into consideration up front. So your equity goes in. And then the rest of the funds are kept in, for lack of a better word, an escrow account. And as your contractor completes the work, depending on the program and depending on the level, the amount of the renovation, you can have funding 20% along 5 fundings. So each 20% of the project, the contractor can apply to get paid out, and it's done that way.
Okay, so they get paid like in increments as the project moves along?
Correct, unless it's a small project, like with an FHA 203K, it's called a limited version. It's under $35,000 and there's nothing structural. But if it's anything structural, for example, on an FHA 203K, you can have up to 5 fundings.
Okay. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
So let's see. What if it's difficult to get a contractor to evaluate the job? Because you have to find a contractor to do this, right?
Right, that's true. Currently, Loan Depot is working with Lowe's on the Fannie Mae home style renovation. So it's nothing structural. It's just the basics. So we can connect you through Lowe's. You'd have to come through us because we'd have to make the introduction. You can't walk into your Lowe's store. They don't know anything about this in the Lowe's store. And it's currently being test marketed in New Jersey as one of the states, one of 3 states that we're test marketing this. So we can, and Lowe's gets the contractor. Lowe's will design what you want to do. Again, it's anything non-structural. Lowe's will get the contractor, and Lowe's acts as the intermediary between us and the buyer borrower.
Okay, so this contractor that is hired, do they have to have any specific qualifications or anything?
Yes, they have to be licensed. Has to be a licensed contractor. Our renovation team would vet them if you're getting one on your own, and Lowe's has already vetted them. So it's a great partnership. I shouldn't say partnership, but it's a great arrangement that Lowe's is bringing value to the table for us.
Yeah, that's great. So as long as they have a licensed contractor and they're approved, the contractor gets approved, then they should be able.
Yes, we vet them, but if you want,
Okay.
you can find your own contractor. They will give us a bid for labor and materials. And yeah, and then we get the whole project approved, get it appraised, and then it's really no different than any other kind of loan.
Okay, so are renovation loans just for purchase transactions, like someone buying a home?
No, you can actually, if you own the home now and you want to upgrade, you want to expand the property, and you don't have the money saved, we can do it as a refinancing. So similar thing as when you buy the house, the first funding would go for you to purchase it. In the refinancing example, first funding goes to pay off your existing mortgage, and then the rest of the funds are put off to the side. And as your contractor is completing the project, they would be released along the way.
Okay, so what about like if putting on a garage or a new bathroom or something structural, can they do all of that with that type of loan?
Correct. Yes.
Oh,
As
great.
long as you can get it approved through your town, to add the garage. You still have to get building permits.
Yes.
And as long as the contractor can do it and you have the footprint, building footprint within the home, within the lot, or you apply to your local town to get a variance. But yeah, there's ways to do it.
Okay. Are there any downsides to this types of loans that you can think of?
No, there really aren't any downsides. I think there's more upsides. What it should do is it should open a lot of eyeballs and opportunities for you to find a home and upgrade it.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the question to you, Rebecca, is have you seen properties that need some tender loving care or need some upgrading? And am I correct that they tend to be listed for less than something that's all put together and shiny new kitchens, correct?
Oh, yes, they're definitely listed lower, and
Right.
we have limited inventory right now. So what is available is stuff that needs work or is very small or very outdated. And the stuff that is like coming on the market that doesn't need any real work and it's big or home, they're sold so quickly. So a lot of these smaller ones are priced lower. So that would ideally give the buyer that cushion of like room to be able to finance it and still fix it up and make it the way they want it.
Correct. Right. And even for sellers who were concerned about, because the seller knows the house, they know if it needs a new roof. They know if it needs a septic tank. They know that their kitchen maybe, pick a number, 20, 30, 40 years old and isn't the most modern. So it's also an opportunity for them to be able to sell the house as is in the state it is, and hopefully they're going to get a nice return when the house sells.
Yeah.
And they don't have to put all this money in to do all the upgrades because the buyer buys it as is, and they take care of everything with their contractor. So it's a win-win on both sides of the transaction.
I think that's great, especially with septics. I can't tell you how many that we've run into where we've done the buyer and they've done their septic inspection, and then the seller doesn't have the funds to put in a brand new
Right.
septic. And now they have to pull it off the market, and they still have to repair it through the health department and everything.
Right.
But to be able to have a buyer come in and say, we'll take it as is and do it on their end is just
Exactly.
huge.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
That is huge. Thank you so much for giving us the time and the information. Is there anything else that you think we should know about the application process for these types of loan? Is it different than regular loans?
Now the application runs the same.
Okay.
You apply the same way. We would just tag it as a renovation loan.
Okay.
And our renovation specialist here at Loan Depot, they coordinate between the appraiser and the contractor, and if it's needed and warranted, we get what's called a HUD inspector. They sort of act as the intermediary between the contractor and the buyer, and the renovation specialist here at Loan Depot. So they coordinate it all and make sure that what is being done to the property is all being included in the bid. That's also very important. You know, sometimes you may want to cut back how much you're going to spend on this renovation project, but when it's looked at, there's some things that may be needed that you may have to do or should be doing, and that's where the HUD consultant comes in.
Okay, great. And it sounded like you have like your own dedicated department just for renovation loans.
Correct. We have a whole team
Oh.
and our renovation specialists who coordinate that value part piece and cost of renovation. So it's
That's
very
great.
helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably helps the transaction move along a lot smoother because you have
Absolutely.
people who do this on a daily basis, so they are
Absolutely.
more comfortable and familiar with the process versus somebody who does it
Absolutely.
once a year.
Right.
Oh.
And the key is you have to get your contractor's bid. So if you find these houses that you want to do some work, first thing you want to do is get a licensed contractor in there, because you want to make sure that it fits in with your budget. And you know, how much are you willing to borrow extra to do this, and what is the mortgage payment going to be when you're done? So there is a lot of moving parts to it, but it all comes together very quickly. And the key component, I can't emphasize that enough, is your contractor's bid for labor and material costs.
So getting that right away is key.
Absolutely,
Or as early
along
as
with your home
possible.
inspection, when you're getting the home inspection, or even before you may even want to get that looked at before you can put an offer in, because you want to make sure that it's viable.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, you definitely opened my eyes, and I'm sure buyers are really going to appreciate the whole process that you've
Thank you.
explained for them, because they may have been overlooking homes just because it is outdated, and or they can't envision like themselves there because they would want to change so much stuff. But if
Yeah,
they can,
absolutely.
yeah,
And you can
maybe they can
change
get
as
a good
much as,
deal.
right, and as much or as little as you want. You know, as you go through and price the project out, you may find that, well, I really don't need to do this. I'd like to, but I really don't need it. And maybe that's where you can cut some costs if you wanted to and felt you needed, but go for it.
That sounds great. Well, we'll wrap up everything then. I think you've answered a ton of questions. If anybody has any more questions for you, how can they reach you?
You can reach me by phone. My number is 973-219-4167. You can also shoot me off an email. The email address is my first initial I, and you see here on the screen my last name. So it's ibodenstein@loandepot.com. And I'd be happy to connect with you and run a scenario and go from there.
Yeah, that's great. So I'll leave my cell phone number in case anybody needs to reach a realtor or needs help with the process. I can always help. So my phone number is 609-604-6153. And my email is Rebecca Holmes. So REBECCA Holmes HOMES at 365@gmail.com. Like Rebecca sells homes 365 days a year. It's Rebecca Ayala. So, and I'd be happy to help. Thank you so much for having me ask you all these questions today.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. This was a pleasure. And yeah, hope this benefits you, and hope this benefits people who are watching this video, because it is an opportunity, and it's not as scary as what it may seem. It's just different. And
Different, yeah, different. It can be scary, but if you have a good team in place to help you through that process, it seems like it won't be as scary.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm the coordinator. I say I'm the concierge between the borrower and the loan depot. I coordinate everything and
Sounds
follow it
good.
from beginning to end. So, all right.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.